But I also want to point out this once in a lifetime opportunity comes with a second once in a lifetime opportunity. And that is because the Bucks and the health department had to reschedule the vaccination clinic due to extreme weather during Game 4. What does this mean? This means that they will be back at the Pfizer Forum Plaza tonight from 6 o'clock to 7:45 p.m., offering vaccines to those who want them. But there's more. If you receive a vaccination tonight, you will be entered in a raffle for the opportunity to receive 2 free tickets to tonight's game. Perhaps the most important sports event in the history of the city of Milwaukee. I can think of just how many people would love to be inside the Pfizer Forum for this exciting night. By getting vaccinated, you can protect your health and your community's health and get a once-in-a-lifetime experience to watch history in the making at an NBA's finals game. But no matter where you're watching the game tonight, whether it's at the plaza, in a bar, or at home, please do so safely and responsibly. Mask use often makes sense even if you are vaccinated, especially if you're in a crowd of 60,000 people. So let's all stand behind the Bucks. Let's hope we have a lot to celebrate safely, and let's behave responsibly to send a message to the world that Milwaukee is a great city with a lot of responsible revelers. So go Bucks, go Bucks. Turning now to the COVID-19 gating metrics, there is some reason for concern here. And I think you'll hear from Dr. Weston and others that unfortunately the numbers are continuing to go in the wrong direction. We remain in the moderate transmission category for COVID-19 cases per 100,000. We're up to 42.9 cases per 100,000. Again, this is lower than it was at its peak, but it is certainly higher than it was just several weeks ago. Our percent positivity rate remains in the low transmission category, now at 4.2%, but that's still a marked increase from where we were just several weeks ago. Our vaccination rates, let's get over that hump. That's 49.9% of City of Milwaukee adults, individuals 16 or older, are fully vaccinated. Come on, let's get over that 50% mark. And we know that's possible because 54% of adults have received at least 1 dose. But I want us to continue to see those numbers increase. These numbers indicate a marked decrease in disease burden. In other words, if we didn't have nearly half the people fully vaccinated and 54% receiving at least 1 dose, our numbers would have been much worse. But 2 months ago, we were much higher in our cases, but this trend is of significant concern. That's why masking remains essential if you are not vaccinated, and valuable because we're learning that in some cases, vaccinated people can spread the disease. So what are we trying to do to get into the community? Well, we are absolutely working to develop our team of community mobilizers. Our community mobilizer team continues to go door to door to help our city increase its vaccination numbers. So far, 320 people have been vaccinated through this outreach effort. That's more than 100 people since last week. And if you're interested in being part of this community mobilizer team, it's a great opportunity. Jump at the Sun Consultants is now recruiting Milwaukee County residents age 16 and up. You can make between $17 to $25 an hour. Bilingual Spanish speakers are also needed. If you want to join the work to stop the spread of COVID-19 in your community and increase confidence in the COVID-19 vaccines, attend the paid training session this Friday, July 23rd from 1 to 5 p.m. You can register online at bit.ly/MKE Mobilizer 2. So again, please consider joining the team. Jump at the Sun Consultants have done a great job, but we know we have a lot more work to do. So my final thoughts are, again, go Bucks, go. And I'll now turn it over to that great Bucks fan, County Executive David Crowley. Mr. County Executive.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor. And you are right. I am primed. I am ready to rock and roll tonight. But as you were alluding to, I think this is a very exciting night for our city. And while I don't want to jinx us, we are all hopeful for a really good win tonight. So as we watch the game and fingers crossed, celebrate tonight, we can't reiterate enough that we are still in the middle of a pandemic and cases are on the rise. So if you're planning to gather in the Deer District or anywhere else, please remember to do so safely because we've come a long way over the past few months reopening our economy. And it's been great seeing folks patronize many of the local businesses, especially throughout this playoff run with the Bucks. And this has been a welcome financial boost for our community after the economic shortfalls that we have seen due to COVID-19. And really, the last thing we want for our community is to take steps backwards because of an increase in COVID cases. So this team has done so much for our community. So while we are supporting them this evening, please take the necessary precautions to keep our community safe. And next, I'd like to reiterate that yesterday I signed the Right to Counsel Milwaukee into law. And this is a pilot program to provide no-cost legal representation for residents facing eviction or foreclosure. And I'm proud to sign the Right to Counsel legislation into law and take another important step forward in really increasing housing security for all Milwaukee County residents as we continue our recovery from the economic downturn caused by the global pandemic. And so since the onset of the pandemic, thanks to the hard work of the folks at the Department of Health and Human Services, our Milwaukee County Housing Division, and our community partners, we have saved over 8,500 families from being evicted through our eviction prevention programs. And so eviction curtails access to safe, affordable housing from reputable landlords and perpetuates the cycle of poverty for generations. So the Right to Counsel Milwaukee is to provide a right to free legal representation in evictions for eligible households through the lead partner organization, United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha counties, and the designated organization, the Legal Aid Society of Milwaukee. And the program is tentatively scheduled to launch on September 1st of this year. So to learn more about this program and to find rental assistance, please visit the website, communityadvocates.net. Again, that website is communityadvocates.net. And we know that housing costs aren't the only financial impacts our residents are facing due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And we are continuing to analyze the revenue loss due to the pandemic. And the county, we're really committed to making investments with our American Rescue Plan funds that support essential services for our residents, as well as advance our vision of becoming the healthiest county in the state of Wisconsin. And lastly, and we'll hear more about this from Dr. Weston, but we're seeing the Delta variant having detrimental effects on increased disease burden across the county. And this is a clear reminder that we are not out of the woods yet. So we will continue to consult with our health experts, watch our local key indicators, including cases as well as positivity rates, and keep an eye on the broader disease burden trends nationally as we work to keep Milwaukee County safe. And if you'll be at the Bucks game tonight or down near the Deer District, please consider getting vaccinated or encourage a loved one that you're with to get vaccinated themselves. Because really getting shots in the arms of folks is still our best tool in stopping the spread of COVID-19. So remember, get vaccinated and make sure to be safe tonight. And I can't pass it off without saying Bucks in 6. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Weston.
All right, thank you, Mr. County Executive. Good afternoon. First to our numbers, we're currently seeing in Milwaukee County an average of 45 new cases per day and about 1 death now every 3 days. As we prepare for hopefully the last game tonight of the NBA Finals with a big Bucks win, we see a very different landscape today than we did a year ago. And the reason that we're able to have these games in Milwaukee, the reason we're able to have fans in the arena and in the Deer District is due to the vaccine. This is one of the many examples of how the vaccine has improved and changed our way of life in the setting of this virus. Now, that said, while things have improved markedly over time, we're seeing red flags indicating that this pandemic is far from over. And it'll remain far from over as long as we continue to have large portions of our population left unvaccinated. Now, last week I discussed an increase in cases and positivity locally, statewide, and across our country. And I wish I could say that there's been improvement, but unfortunately the situation is only worsening. So locally, we saw a doubling in new cases in just the last week. That's a 100% increase. And as a state, we've seen more than 100% increase in new cases over the last 2 weeks. Now nationally, whereas last week I talked about which states were showing increases and which weren't in case numbers, we now see that every single state is showing an increase in new daily cases. and 42 states are showing an increase in hospitalization. Now, make no mistake, these increases are due to two factors. One is the persistent level of people who are unvaccinated, and two is the incredibly transmissible Delta variant. So as of today, the Delta variant is now in 83% of COVID cases in the United States. That's an incredible rise, up from 50% in the beginning of this month. And we see the same in Wisconsin. Now also 83% of the variants identified in our state in the most recent sample being Delta variant. Now the Delta variant is more contagious and it's more dangerous than past variants. There's a study posted last week and it was shown that people infected with the Delta variant have over 1,000 times the viral load of those with the original COVID variant from last year. 1,000 times more virus in your body from the Delta variant. So for those of you out there who are not yet vaccinated, you are really on borrowed time. This is not the same virus that we were seeing a year ago. This is COVID 2.0. It's better at infecting, it's better at spreading, and data suggests it's also better at putting you in the hospital, even if you're young. So this is why you see LA County reinstating a mask mandate. This is why you see hospitals in Missouri overflowing. And this is why you hear yesterday, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the top experts on child health, recommend that all schools require universal masking. So in summary, yes, we're seeing tonight the benefits that can come from vaccination. And while those who are vaccinated are to a large extent protected, we know that many in our community are not. And we're seeing trends to accompany that fact. So get your vaccine, mask up in high-risk settings, and certainly mask your unvaccinated kids indoors. And for those going to the Bucs game tonight, have fun, enjoy the historical moment, but protect yourself and those around you. Wear a mask. And for those without tickets and without a vaccine, as the mayor said, show up early, get the vaccine, and have a pretty good chance of getting free tickets. Thank you very much. Stay safe, and I'll hand it to Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Dr. Weston. Tonight is a big night for Milwaukee. After a really long year, it's been exciting to support and cheer on the Bucs throughout the playoffs. The Deer District is anticipating 65,000 people for Game 6, but I really want to remind everyone to celebrate responsibly. The Milwaukee Bucs have been an incredible partner throughout this pandemic. Their commitment to working with the health department to keep their players, their staff, and fans safe cannot be understated. I want to thank them for their extreme generosity and their partnership. But we cannot let the excitement of this historic moment for Milwaukee allow us to lose sight of the fact that COVID-19 is present in Milwaukee and is continuing to increase. 50% of Milwaukee adults are not vaccinated, and only 35% of Milwaukeeans under the age of 35 are fully vaccinated. 15 to 35-year-olds account for the majority of our confirmed cases. So if you decide to go to the Deer District tonight or anywhere else in the city, please be safe. If you are unvaccinated, we strongly recommend you wear a mask. Even if you are fully vaccinated, masking has shown success in preventing the spread. Keep yourself and those around you safe. And if you are experiencing any symptoms, please cheer on the Bucs from your home tonight. Additionally, if you're experiencing any symptoms that are common with COVID-19, it's important to continue to be tested, even if you're fully vaccinated. There's free testing that continues at American Family Field, the Northwest Health Center, the Southside Health Center, and other locations. For more information about COVID-19 tests, you can go to milwaukee.gov/COVID testing. As the mayor mentioned, we will be in the Pfizer Forum Plaza before the game tonight to vaccinate anyone who's interested or anyone who needs their second dose. Anyone vaccinated on site will be entered to win 2 Bucs tickets tonight to tonight's game in section 101, right behind the basket. These are phenomenal seats and your chances are very good. We'll be set up in front of the medical tent on the plaza. Just check our Instagram account at MKE Health for the exact location. As the mayor mentioned, we have a substantial increase in our burden rate and positive tests in the past week. Based on our vaccination rates, we anticipated this rise in cases. But the fact of the matter is we are faced with a pandemic of the unvaccinated. With the Delta variant spreading in Milwaukee, it's more important than ever to make sure you get your vaccine as soon as possible. Our rates have been fairly stagnant over the past few weeks, and we need our number to increase, the number of people who get vaccinated increase if we want to keep our disease burden rate low. Thank you, and go Bucs.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. All right, our first question comes from Allison Durr with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. She says, Mayor Barrett, Commissioner Johnson, and County Executive Crowley, other places across the country have reinstated mask mandates. What is the likelihood of that happening here at this point? And what specific factors would you consider in taking such a step here? And for the city, would this require action by the council again?
Well, just to give you a little history of the mask ordinance that we had, and this seems like it was a million years ago, but it was less than a year ago. When we looked at the mask issue, we could see throughout the state of Wisconsin that a lot of the orders that were being promulgated by health officials were being challenged legally. And we wanted to make sure that we were not going to face a legal challenge to a mask requirement. It was for that reason that we reached out to Chairwoman Dmitrievich and others on the Common Council and worked very closely with her. And she was the one that shepherded the mask ordinance through the council. So if we were to go that route again, we would do as we did the first time, which is we would work closely with Alderwoman Dmitrievich and others on the council who would be interested in that. And we would do it through a council resolution. Up to this point, it's not something that's imminent, but certainly I was taken aback when I saw what was going on in California. I'm watching that very, very carefully. And we remain in consultation from the mayor's standpoint, not only with Common Council members, but most specifically with Commissioner Johnson and her staff. So again, I don't see that as being imminent right now, but as we've noted, the numbers are troubling. What we're seeing right now with the numbers, they are certainly headed in the wrong direction. I would prefer that we don't have to go back to that, but I certainly can't rule it out 100%.
And, I echo the mayor's comments, but again, here at Milwaukee County, we're going to continue to consult with our health experts and look at, key indicators. What are the cases looking like? What is the positivity rates? And really looking at the disease burden again nationally. But I will say that, its implications at the county, we still, or the public is still required to have on masks in many of our county buildings still at this point. So.
Excellent. Thank you both. CBS 58 is just asking a question for the commissioner. They're wondering if you could restate some of the statistics you shared and then maybe share why it's significant that the 15 to 35-year-olds are the largest portion of new cases.
Oops, thanks, I got it. It has to happen, right? So the population of 15 to 35-year-olds has been where we've seen the greatest number of cases, but that has been trend. We've been in that trend for a while, but it is also, as if you look at the age, sort of the where there are breaks in vaccination rates. Once you get to 35, you only have 35% of people in the city of Milwaukee who are between the ages of 15 and 35 who are vaccinated. So as the ages get younger, we have fewer and fewer people vaccinated in those in those population groups. So it's concerning. We need specifically those younger age populations to get vaccinated.
Thank you, Commissioner. Allison Durr with the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel is wondering, is there any sense for how the gatherings in the Deer District, like the one tonight, could or are impacting case numbers here?
So I can speak to this a little bit. I mean, certainly any large gathering and 65,000 people is an extremely large gathering. There is a risk for spread. The advantages were outside, but if anyone's seen pictures, people are in really close quarters outside at the Deer District during this, this celebration. We have been tracking that data pretty closely here at the city of Milwaukee and have not seen yet. And again, it takes about 2 weeks to really see the trend in the data, but we have not seen a significant trend of it being transmitted at any of these really large events.
Right, thank you. I'll give it just one more minute. Those are the questions I'm seeing in the chat at this time, so just one more minute. Otherwise, we will conclude the briefing. All right, those appear to be all of the questions. So that concludes today's briefing. Go Bucks, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Go Bucks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Go
you.
Bucks.